Welcome back to our series of 200 ultra-hard PMP practice questions. I'm Andrew Ramdiel. I am the author of the world's best-selling study guide, PMP Exam Prep Simplified. And I'm also the creator of Udemy's best-selling e-learning courses with over 500,000 students have used my products to pass their exam, including my simulator and so on. Let's dive right into these questions. We have already done 110 of them, so this is going to be 111 to 120. Let's get through this. Question 111. Halfway through a software development project, the project manager identifies that an important security feature was omitted. This feature is essential for the software to meet industry security guidelines. The project manager understands that integrating this feature promptly is critical to prevent potential security breaches. What is the most effective course of action the project manager should take next? Schedule an urgent meeting with stakeholders to discuss the implications of incorporating the security feature. Conduct an impact to understand the impact of adding this feature at this stage of the project. Prioritize the security features in the project backlog, ensuring that it addresses the next phase. Seek additional resources to include the security features without altering the current project milestones. Remember, you're doing this here. It says, what should you take next? So you missed a feature. The best thing you're going to be doing next is to see how adding this in is going to affect the current project, because we know we got to add it in, but we got to see, okay, how is this going to affect the project? How much is it going to drive the budget? How much is it going to drive up the schedule before we do anything else? Now, there's a couple of reasons why the rest of these are wrong. First of all, you should have eliminated C. The project manager cannot add to the project backlog and cannot prioritize the project backlog. Urgent to discuss well, we already know that if we don't incorporate it, you don't need A because you already know that there's going to be security breaches. There's no need for A. Seek additional resource, assess it before seeking additional resources, making B the best answer. 112. During a healthcare facility upgrade project, a project manager is informed by a key stakeholder that certain advanced technological features expected by the stakeholders are not visible in the preliminary designs. What should the project manager do to address the stakeholders' concerns? Review the project plan and update the stakeholders. Okay. Confirm with the stakeholders that their expectations will be integrated in the design provision process. Organize a detailed presentation on the current project status and future milestones. Have the team include the design in the project scope. What are we going to be doing? How are we going to address this person's concern? Best answer here, guys, is to review the plan and update the stakeholders. That is correct. So, first of all, notice a key stake, certain technological expected are not visible. So it's not visible to them. Is it in the plan? Well, that part I'm not sure about. So go and find out. You're a project manager. Hey, stakeholder comes to you and says, hey, that's not in the plan. But are you sure it's not in the plan? Do you know that? Your next step, how are you going to address this? Your best step here is to review the plan to see if it is or it's not. You can't confirm with them that it'll be integrated unless you check that plan. You shouldn't organize a detail and future milestone to stakeholders. Check the plan first. Just the team can include things like that in a scope. It has to go through a full change process. And if it's a traditional project, it'll go through a change process. If it's an agile project, only the product owner can add it. 113. Following a corporate restructuring, the project manager notices that the newly assembled team is having difficulty adapting to their collective role, with members often preferring to work in isolation rather than as a unified team. This behavior is affecting the synergy and efficiency of project work. What should the project manager do to enhance team dynamics? Organize a workshop to focus on team integration and collaborative problem solving. Implement a flexible work policy to accommodate individual work preference. Establish a regular one-on-one check-in to address any personal concerns affecting teamwork. Initiate a competitive initiative program to encourage collaboration. There's really only two good answers here. You got they're working in silo activities. Basically, they're in isolation. The two good answers here was either A or D. First of all, B was never a good answer because of flexible work. If they're not together at all, some may work sometime and not, you're separating them even more. A one-on-one check-in doesn't address them working together. Now you're just addressing them. It's like you're promoting the one-on-one. Initiate a competitive initiative program. This here is going to make them more competitive, may not put them. The best thing here to do is to bring them together, put them in workshops, and let them start working together. Let them come up with ways to solve problems. 114. In an initiative to manage a software development team spread across multiple continents, a project manager seeks to enhance collaboration and ensure synchronous work dynamics. The team diversity in culture and geography presents a unique challenge in maintaining effective communications and collaboration. What initiative should the project manager prioritize to ensure effective team collaboration? Okay, so once again, you're trying to make this team work together, but now you have them spread across continents. A, introduce a dynamic platform for real-time video conference and interactive sessions. All right. Implement an asynchronous communication tool for delayed but comprehensive exchange. All right. C, arrange for annual physical meetups to foster personal connections. D, develop an internal email newsletter for weekly updates on project progress. So we want the team to work together. You have them in a diverse, you have them across the continent. They're having a problem with effective communications. So how can we increase and make their communications better? The best answer here, guys, is going to be A. If you got A, that is correct. And the reason is because a real-time video conferencing like Zoom will help them to communicate a lot better. A physical meetup is not going to solve this because that's just once a year. And email is more of a push type communication. It's not an interactive communication. Asynchronous is offline, so it's not interactive. You want them effective communications and especially collaboration. When you think collaboration, always think of interactive. You can't be collaborative if me and you are not collaborating if I'm just giving you information. This video is not a collaboration between me and you. I'm not taking from you. You're not taking from me. I'm just giving you information. So you don't want something that's asynchronous. You want something that's more synchronous. Make an A the best answer. 115. In the critical validation stage of a software development project, a third-party component fails to meet the expected performance benchmark. This discrepancy leads to significant concerns about meeting the project timeline. The project manager identifies that the failure is due to the component being developed based on outdated specifications. What could have been done to prevent this from happening? Now, you're going to get these questions where you see something that says prevent from happening. That means don't fix the problem right now. It means to fix the problem before it can happen, right? It means to prevent the problem from happening. So be careful when you read the answers. Conduct a comprehensive review of the project requirements and management processes with stakeholders to align expectations and specifications. All right. Initiate a cost-benefit analysis to determine if redesigning the components is financially viable compared to potential project delays. All right. Schedule an urgent meeting with supplier to negotiate expedite delivery terms. All right. Assign a team to develop a workaround for the failed component. The best answer here is going to be A. You notice, so read the question carefully. The failure is due to a component being developed based on outdated specification. Now, that means the specifications were incorrect. B, to determine if redesigning, this is going to fix the current problem. We don't want that. We want to prevent the current problem. Schedule an urgent meeting with the supplier to negotiate expedite. This here might fix the current problem. Assign a team to, you don't want to work around. Workaround means a workaround means something failed and then you're going around it trying to fix it then. All of these doesn't line up with the key word of prevent this problem. Maybe if the question was like, how do you fix this problem? You know, maybe B and A would have probably, B and D would have been a good answer, but they're asking to prevent the problem. So read carefully. 116, a project manager is overseeing a project designed to deliver iterative enhancement to an existing service and has an established prioritized product backlog from the product owner. Good. Despite this, the product owner later voices concern to senior management about the project's direction not aligning with the expectations. What initiative should the project manager have undertaken? All right. So we got a project. The product owner prioritizes the product backlog, but they just don't like the direction that they're going in. What should we do? Institute a comprehensive stakeholder engagement plan to ensure all voices are heard and integrated into project planning. Okay. Adapt a more flexible approach to project management methodologies to accommodate changing stakeholders' expectations. All right. Enhance team training on the project's technical and business aspect to ensure a deeper understanding of project goals. All right. Organize regular sprint review meetings with the product owner and conduct team retrospective to close the feedback loop. Now, right off the bat, you can tell that this is going to be an agile project. You got the product owner, you got the product backlog. Keep in mind here that the product owner is not sure, something is not aligning. To ensure that an agile project stays aligned, you should be doing your sprint review meetings. The sprint review meetings is when the product owner, the customer comes in and sees what happened. Then they can give feedback basically at the end of every sprint, which is basically every month or every few weeks, to tell you if it's aligned or it's not aligned. Now, why is the rest not wrong? Well, it's not really there's nothing in the question that states that there's a problem with the team's technical understanding of this, so that's wrong. A more flexible approach to the method. There's nothing wrong with the methodology. Maybe the methodology is not used right. Institute a comprehensive and to ensure all voices are heard. You may never hear all voices on all projects. So the best answer here is to make sure you do those sprint review meetings. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, give the video a like. Make sure to subscribe. 117. After a project milestone, a team member voices concerns over the lack of detailed feedback regarding their project contributions. The individual feels that without specific insight, their ability to improve and impact the project positively is limited. What should the project manager consider first? Schedule an all-hands meeting to discuss project performance and individual contributions openly. Establish an online forum for the project team to post accomplishments and receive peer feedback. Introduce a quarterly review system that focuses on project-specific achievements and growth areas. Enhance documentation of individual performance metrics and provide regular, personalized feedback session. All right, best answer here, guys. Remember, it's one stakeholder. It's one team member. So what are we going to be doing is we should personalize feedback. First of all, you don't want to do individual contributions and say openly how someone is doing great or not doing great. Or this one, because then it may seem like some people are doing more than others when it may not necessarily be true. You don't want just an online forum. You want to address this directly with the team. Quarterly system may be too long or too short, depending on the project. The best thing here, let people know what those individual metrics are so they know if they're meeting them. And you want regular personalized feedback on this, making D the best answer. 118. During a project review, the client identifies a critical feature in the new software application that was discussed but not implemented. So they knew about it, but we didn't put it in. The project manager verifies that this feature was indeed documented as part of the scope. What should the project manager undertake as a preliminary action? Initiate a brainstorming session with the stakeholder to identify alternative for the missing feature. Arrange a detailed discussion with the team to understand the oversight and develop corrective action. Commission an external audit to evaluate the project management processes and identify gaps. Recommend the suspension of project delivery timeline to reevaluate all project components comprehensively. Now, this, you're going to follow the mindset. So we missed something. If you miss a feature that's critical, that should have been there, they knew they should have gotten it done, but we just didn't get it done, find out why. What happened? Meet with the team and then come up with a way to solve it. That's the best thing we can do. Brainstorming, you don't want to come up with alternative solutions until meeting with the team. Maybe this is something the team can implement right away. You don't need an external audit to identify any gaps in the project. This should have been a throughout answer. Before you do any of that, remember, it's a preliminary, it's a primary action. One of the things you want to do as a primary action is to meet with the team, have the team help you solve this. Recommended suspension, never stop your project. The only time you would ever probably stop a project is if you're breaking the law or someone may die or some kind of safety issue. But never stop a project like that. 119. Upon discovering a significant quality issue with a key supplier's deliverables, the project manager needs to address the problem to maintain project standards. What should be the project manager's initial action? Schedule an urgent project team meeting to brainstorm potential solutions to the quality issue. Request an immediate, comprehensive quality audits on all supplier deliverables to identify the scope of the problem. All right. Refer to the project's risk register for predetermined mitigation actions. D. Draft an urgent communication to the supplier demanding an explanation and proposed rectification plan. Okay, so what is going to be your initial action, which is basically going to be what's your first action? And this question was tricky because the answer here is actually C. Not sure if you got this one. So what this is doing is this is testing your ability to understand, okay, so we have an issue now, but before something becomes an issue, it should have been a risk. So when you are identifying your risks in the planning process, you should have had a risk that says deliverable or product not meeting quality requirements from suppliers. Now, the actions you take should have been stored in the risk register, which is what this is. So you should have had this thing down as a risk, and if the risk does materialize, then you should have looked at the risk register to tell you the mitigation strategy for it. That's why this is the best answer here. An urgent team meeting, although I like A, I like B. First of all, D is never do anything like demanding an explanation. You never want to be negative, so I would have eliminated that. A and B are good actions, but you want to do C first. Then maybe do A and B. So if you got A and B, keep in mind that C should have just came first. It's that initial action. Last question, guys. 120. After an unscheduled discussion, a project team member advises the client about potential project delays due to frequent changes in requirements. What proactive steps should the project manager take to manage project communications more effectively? Emphasize to the project team the importance of routing all communications to the project manager to ensure consistency and accuracy. Conduct a workshop with the team to underscore the significance of adhering to the project's communication guideline. Schedule a meeting with the client to directly address their concern and clarify any misunderstanding about the project timeline. Require all significant project updates and communication conveyed through formal channels to maintain documentation and clarity. I thought this question was very, very difficult. The answer here, guys, is going to be D. There's nothing here that says it's an agile project. Unscheduled discussions is probably not something you want to do, especially on those traditional projects. You want to make sure that you have formal channels. All communication should be documented, should be maintained, and should go through the project communication channels. Follow your communication management plan, in other words. Emphasize to the team the importance of not all communication. Be careful of this word all. Anytime you see that in a choice, it means everything goes through the PM. No. A workshop, you never underscore anyone. Schedule a meeting with the client to address, well, this is just this one time. What solution can you take to ensure this never happens again? Making D the best answer. Okay, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed these 10 questions. Don't forget to check out all the other ones that we haven't done. We're up to 120 now. Hopefully your scores are improving. But some of these were really hard. Some of these questions, I must say, was pretty difficult. If you're doing well, a lot of people want to know, Andrew, how much should I be scoring? If you can score about a 70 to 80% on my questions, you're more than likely going to pass your exam. But before you do that, get the exam simulator below because you should be doing more of these questions. These 200 questions is not going to cover all the topic. They're going to cover a good set of them, but not all of them. Get the TIA exam simulator for more questions like this. We have about 800 questions. 400 of them have videos that goes through every single scenario that you're probably going to see on your exam. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content, and I'll see you in the next video.